Are you new to the world of credit and looking to build your score the right way? Keep watching as I show you the secrets you have to know to build a great credit score fast, and it's coming up next. What's good, hustlers? JP here with Hustler Productions. If you're looking to make money, pay off debt, build wealth, and get a great credit score fast, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so I can let you know whenever I drop a new video. Maybe you just turned 18, or maybe you just started college. Perhaps you've avoided your credit your whole life, but now you realize you need credit to get a good rate on a car or home loan. Better credit and a better credit score will result in lower interest rates, which will save you money on everything that you have to finance going forward. Either way, this beginner's guide to building good credit will get you started on the right track. A lot of people online will tell you, all credit's bad. Oh my God, credit's going to ruin your life. But that's simply not the case. Credit's just a tool. Without credit, very few people would be able to buy a new car, buy a home. Nowadays, they check your credit even when you want to rent an apartment or a house. Credit's something that should really be taught in schools, along with personal finance, but for some reason it's not. My first piece of advice would be, as soon as you turn 18, you should start building credit. And if you're already past that point, you want to start building credit immediately using the advice in this video. It's better to learn, understand, and build your credit now than wait for a time where you actually need it and it's too late. And building credit doesn't require that you go into debt or even pay interest. Getting a good credit score is absolutely free if you do it the right way. So what is a credit score? It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a numeric score that lenders use when you apply for credit to determine your risk and if they want to extend you that credit. When you fill out a credit application, lenders use that score along with other risk factors such as your income, perhaps your time at your residence, to determine if you qualify for the loan. So what actually goes into a credit score? There are many data points involved, but they all roll up into 5 basic categories, each with a varying level of effect on your credit score. The aspect that has the largest effect on your credit score is obviously your repayment history, which carries a 35% relative importance. This factor looks at, historically, how timely have you repaid your debts? Do you always pay on time, every time? Or maybe you've had a single slip up of a 30-day late payment, which is typically when lenders will report you late to the credit bureau. Or do you consistently have a pattern of being 30, 60, 90 days late on your payments, which progressively is worse and worse for your credit profile? The way to make this aspect work in your favor is quite simply pay all your debts on time. To make this a little bit easier, be very careful not to overspend, because putting yourself deep in debt can make it almost impossible to make your payments timely. If you're worried about making your monthly payments on time, consider signing up for autopay. Late payments have very negative consequences, such as they can charge you late fees of $35. They can raise your interest rate up to what's called a penalty rate of 29.99%, as if their rates weren't high enough already. And they can report you late to the credit bureaus, which completely destroys your credit score. And if you pay your account in full by the due date each month, not only will you not go into debt, you also won't have to pay any interest charges. Other types of accounts you'll pretty much always have to pay interest on, such as your student loans. And in the beginning, you'll probably pay interest on auto loans as well. But once you've built up an excellent credit profile, you can usually find financing specials to get car loans at 0% interest. The next most important aspect, having a 30% relative importance to your credit score, is how much do you owe on your accounts? Not only do you have to have credit accounts, but you also have to use them. But you don't have to overuse them. This factor refers to your credit utilization ratio, which is simply the amount you owe divided by your credit limit. A low ratio means you're using less available credit, which is generally viewed as a good sign that you know how to manage your money and your credit. Now, the credit reporting agencies recommend you keep that ratio below 30%, but many experts say you should try dropping that number all the way down to 10% or less. This means if you have a credit card with a $1,000 limit, try to keep the balance below $100 per month, but definitely try to keep it under $300. To do this, I prefer to use my card for things that I would be paying for anyway, such as gas and groceries, that I already have the cash for. Then each month when the bill comes in, I can pay it off right away with that same cash. Once you've got great credit, you can usually get cards that offer you some type of reward, such as cash back, airline miles, or hotel points. The rewards usually vary between 1% and 5%, which may not sound like a lot, but if you're using your card for things you would buy anyway, paying it off each month so you don't accrue any interest, then it's just like getting free money. The next factor, despite having only a 15% relative effect on your credit score, is still important, even though there's not a lot you can do about it at first, and that's the length of your credit history. This factor measures your newest account, your oldest account, and the average age of your accounts. Since this video is for beginners, I'm going to guess that most of you probably don't have an extensive credit history. One trick that works to get around this, depending on the credit card, is to have someone add you as an authorized user to their account. Usually this will be your parents. Some credit cards will then report the credit history of that card onto your credit report, instantly giving you a lengthy credit history. Just be careful, because if the account has any late payments or is maxed out, you'll reap the negative effects of that. The last two factors each have a relative importance of only 10%, but you shouldn't overlook them, because on the road to a great credit score, every little bit counts. The first is your credit mix. Credit agencies like to see that you can effectively manage varying types of credit. This will include installment loans, such as your car payment that has a fixed payment every month, revolving accounts such as your credit cards, where the payment and the balance can go up or down from month to month, and eventually mortgage loans, when and if you decide to buy a house. The second looks at your new credit. Are you applying for and opening a large number of accounts in a short period of time? Creditors look at this as a risk factor, especially when you're just starting out. When you apply for credit, it creates what's called an inquiry. An inquiry stays on your credit report for 24 months, but it really only affects your credit score for about 12. And FYI, it's okay to pull your own credit report, and you really should pull it every year to check for inaccuracies and signs of fraud. But don't worry, it doesn't affect your score at all. So how do you get credit if you've never had credit? As promised, here's a quick step-by-step guide to not only get your first credit accounts, but get your score up as quick as possible. As I mentioned earlier, if it's an option for you, have someone add you to one or two of their accounts as an authorized user. This can instantly create a good credit history without causing any inquiries on your report. Step 2 would be to get a secured credit card, which pretty much anyone can get approved for. To get a secured card, you have to put a deposit down with the bank that they can hold as collateral in case you don't pay the card back. Typically, you'll deposit $300 or $500. They'll open up a credit line for you for the same $300 or $500. And as long as you can make your payments each month, eventually you can be considered for either a credit limit increase or possibly even an unsecured card. And once you've got that card, make sure to keep a low utilization rate, trying to keep it below 10%, but definitely below 30%, and continue to make on-time payments every month for a minimum of 6 to 8 months before you try to get new credit. The next step would be to consider getting an installment loan to diversify your credit mix. If you don't think you can qualify for an installment loan by yourself, consider getting a cosigner. A cosigner would be personally liable for the loan in the event that you default, so typically only a family member is going to be willing to do that for you. And if you follow this plan step by step, within 6 to 12 months, you should probably have a credit score at least 700, most likely higher, and at that time you can apply and most likely get any credit you're looking for at the best rate. So now that you know what a credit score is, how to open your first accounts, and how to build a great score, I'll turn it over to you. Are you brand new to credit, or are you looking to rebuild your score? What would work best for you? Getting a secured credit card or being added as an authorized user on someone's account? Leave your answers in the comments below, and I'll be sure to respond. If you found this video helpful, share it with a friend. And if you want to see more like it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell, and I'll be sure to let you know each time I drop a new video to help you make money, pay off debt, build wealth, and improve your credit score. Thanks for watching.